Yo, welcome back to another part. Fuck you, Charon. You always interrupt me when I'm doing things.
Whoa, hold
Damn,
on.
so much aggression.
Part 15, we're fighting Charon.
At least you get to listen to the rival.
Oh my god, purple trees!
You didn't see it. Also,
The anime remix kicks
I love this sound.
Too bad it's unreleased. Like
Like,
it'll always
Ollie's
be.
gonna have like this unbridled rage.
Man, I hate Liepert.
I do have unproud.
Oh, I will be right back. Sorry, guys.
I hate Liepert so much because I caught Purloin thinking, oh, this thing's gonna evolve into a beast. I got a Liepert and this thing sucks. Like, all it is good at is speed. Literally, speed is its only thing. Everything else, it can't even deliver a hit. It can't take a hit. This thing died so many times on my team that it was, I think the first time I literally was like, okay, I gotta release it.
Also, by the way, Richie's now main goal in fights is to play War of Attrition because.
Well, I didn't release it. I put it in my computer, but you know, I took it off the team. I was like, "You're off the team, bro."
What was your original team in this
Wait,
game?
what? What did I do?
My original team was in black was no, in Pokemon White. I'm sorry, I played White. My original team in Pokemon White was Unpheasant, Samurai.
That was funny to me. Unpheasant, shit. like you went through a depression.
Look,
and you're
I had to think back because it's been so long since Pokemon Black and White.
It's been 10 years.
Oh, don't say that. Don't make me old.
How old were you?
You mean 9? Because remember, it came out in Japan in 2010.
Oh yeah, but still, the point
It was
is
the last game.
It says.
That had staggered. There was a
okay.
the
I
black-
had
the last one that
I had Purloin. I had Purloin Samurai, Unpheasant, Zip Striker. What were the last two? I needed a fire type, so this region did not have a lot, did they? Oh yeah, I had Duramaku. That's right. I had Duramaku, and then I had I think I had switched out Purloin for Stoutland, and then finally I had.
I love Stoutland. So
Yeah, Stoutland's bulky too. I was like, wow, this thing can take a hit.
I love.
And then finally, I can't remember the last Pokemon right now. Oh, Leavanny. It was Leavanny. Yeah, I had Leavanny.
Really?
I associate all these with all the characters in Possession. Like Zeb Striker, I associate with Stefan. Obviously, Stoutland, Burgundy.
It's Stefan.
Stefan.
I had one of the elemental monkeys. I had Semi-Sage, but I hated him, so I put him in the box.
Really? I love his design.
I don't like any of the elementals' designs.
Oh, speaking of which,
Monkey.
Grass Monkey.
Now,
I
Funky.
remember
Silent saved Pansage.
I
like-
just wish it evolved, honestly.
Yeah, he saved
Cute.
Pansage because I would not have cared for Pansage at all until Silent came in
I'm actually depressed.
and made it fight a Thunderous.
There's a good amount of Mons here I enjoy that I actively couldn't choose because I wanted to choose Mons I never used before. So, for example, my original team was Samurai. I didn't pick Unpheasant because Unpheasant looked boring as shit to me.
Well, I just called it as a Pidove. I didn't know what Unpheasant looked like at the time.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying, like, I didn't want to get another bird. So I think it was Samurai, Semi-Sage, Cofregus, Electros. Oh, what the
Not Cofregus? Damn.
Yeah, I went through the extra effort to catch him because I love the design. I actually hate its Galarian form. It was just not.
That did huge damage.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate that. So I went and got Cofregus. Electros is also a bitch because he's a rare find in that area. I think I got Sog. I think I got Sog early because I was just like, oh shit.
I had Sock on my team.
Oh,
yeah, early game, and then
I heard the thing fast.
Oh yeah, that thing. I mean, it's the fast one. So it's like you want something that can get. You want something that can fucking like beat the shit out of somebody with close combat. That's the one you need.
Yeah.
So fucking fast.
I'm trying to think what the fuck was the last one. I don't remember. I'm trying to think what did I not have.
Would have gotten Hydreigon, but fuck the level he evolves at.
My
That's
dad.
annoying.
My dad actually likes sock and throw because I forced him to sit down once and watch an episode of Best Wishes. It was the Don George thing, and I think it might have been Stefan versus Montgomery.
Hey, the worst champion besides Diantha.
Oh yeah, because he had a throw that was a piece of shit.
Yeah, the other one had Montgomery had the throw, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, that's cool.
Yeah, Zweilous evolves into Hydreigon at 64. I'm like, Pokemon fuck and Pokemon that. Like, no way.
Oh, by the way, here's our champion of this region.
Oh yeah. Hold on.
Every time I hear this music, I think of the Cypher rap.
Boo.
I wonder why.
Switch to Iris already.
So, all right, so here's the thing with Alder, because Alder, I feel like Alder gets a lot of hate, and part of it is because of how he is. You know what he reminds me of? And I think
Jiraiya?
Yeah.
It's Jiraiya.
Hey, that's my boy Jiraiya.
He's Jiraiya.
Screams Jiraiya. You know what else he reminds me of?
Who?
Ash in the current series. That's the vibe I get.
Oh, like he's so competent at this point.
Like he's competent, but he also like still goofy and chill.
Don't tell KG that.
Well, listen, I don't look at it as a bad thing. I think it's cool. I think that's the kind of champion I feel like.
JP's only mad at Ash right now for that episode. Yeah, I think he's fine with Ash in other episodes. Because, like I said before, in that episode,
I mean, if he dealt with it in Sun and Moon, he should be fine with it.
Double the herd here, double the fun.
Right?
Oh, by the way, just to give context of what's going on. So this is where we start Charon's arc of his, like, because Alder essentially is like challenging his, do you think a champion is just strong? Do you think that's all a champion is? That's why I like Alder, because Alder kind of represents a part of a champion that no one ever fucking talks about. Like, it's always like, now we know, like, for example, Steven had his stones, no pun intended, and Cynthia was just fucking, as most people call her, a goddess.
Pokemon didn't do a good job up till Gen 5 really digging deep into champions. Most champions were just really good trainers.
I think Cynthia was one of the better. I think
Cynthia had layers to her. She liked to discover the history of Sinnoh, but outside of that, she didn't get enough cutscenes to justify it until Platinum came out. And then most people just knew her because she stomped your team out with her Garchomp.
I mean, to be fair, up until that point, and Steven was hard too, but fucking Cynthia at that point in time was one of the hardest. I think technically she's still the most notorious champion fights in the game.
Steven at least had the benefit of going, okay, if I can figure out this type, then I'll beat the team. Cynthia's just ruthless.
By the way, I do like this weird. I don't know why. I don't know. I remember in the older games when you fought with your partner, which I think only happened. I think it happened in Diamond and Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
I like that Charon's whole team is accessible. Like. The sad part is almost his entire team gets fucked up.
Yeah, in Diamond and Pearl they do it. You can fight with Barry and you can fight with Dawn. The problem is once their one Pokemon gets knocked out, that's it. They can't do anything else.
Yeah, we saw that last part.
Ironically enough, Charon has his like full fucking team. It's ridiculous. But the sad thing is that I think he says before this fight like how this isn't going to be a challenge or whatever, and he literally loses like half his team that's fucking hurting. Right. It's ridiculous. We're already on Pansage. Stupid. I think he loses Pansage at one point. I don't remember. And Richie's just chilling over here, killing things. Richie, I don't even think you kicked it.
Wow.
Yeah,
hey, I'm just doing my job. What do you want me to do?
Yep, now we're down to the train cool. It's ridiculous.
I'm just doing my job.
I don't know. Like, I like Alder's inclusion. I just felt bad because he never got to show how strong he was. Like,
there was no, like, it's like Caitlyn got more exposure than he, like, in terms of the battle. Like, the thing when she went against Cynthia.
Yeah.
It's like we never really got to see Alder, or unless.
Jesus Christ.
That's one of the, and I think that's one of the big things too. Is because
666.
To be fair, Paul, I'm gonna give you context.
Oh wait, but Ash and
in the anime and the game though, you guys actually bring up a good point.
Like, yeah, in the games, Alder doesn't get a lot of shine either. Like, like well, how far did you get in Black, by the way?
Oh, not far at all. Like, not even to the first gen. No, I think I beat the first gen.
I was gonna say because I can mention some of the plot points of.
I might have gotten to Lenora, I think.
Oh, Lenora's like depending on what your team is, Lenore is like annoyingly hard.
I think I'm just gonna start over again.
That's
Like,
what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Probably the
I
problem,
wanna be a hero. Okay.
the biggest issue that Black has is that it is not beginner friendly at all. Like
It's,
it has aspects of it that can make it easier.
and the weird part is this is medium mode. They have
isn't
a
that
hard
a good
mode.
thing?
Go ahead.
Isn't that a good thing?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
No,
great.
it's a good thing. Good thing for It's a good thing for like seasoned Pokemon fans. It's a bad thing if you were just coming into this gen.
Yeah.
Like if you were like if this was your first gen or like you don't have a lot of experience with Pokemon, this gen was mean. Think about it. Like
oh, no, it was. It was.
I'm putting this in the context. Like I've done 4 gyms, and I think 3 out of the 4 gyms are notoriously hard.
Mm.
Like fucking Elsa's known for her Volt Switch shenanigans. Fucking the first gym was known for literally putting you at a disadvantage, so you had to rely on other Pokemon or power through like I did. And then fucking Lenore's hard because normal types hit like a fucking truck. Who Fought Takedown was a move that we need to deal with at level like 12 or some shit. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then
Wow.
and then it gets harder. Like fucking
Wow.
Drayden, shit, or Iris, depending on what version you have.
I have white.
So that isn't that Drayden?
Yeah,
No.
that's Iris. That's Iris. Iris is the gym leader.
Oh,
Oh yeah, because they flipped it. They flipped it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yay! I get Iris.
So you get
Cool.
Iris. But, I mean,
Which-
Dragon Gym.
Which is weird because if you're playing white, then essentially what you're doing is you're playing a later half technically of the story, because the story goes that Iris is becoming a gym leader after
Mhm.
Drayden succeeds and retires.
Yeah.
So technically, if you're playing white, you're playing like a little bit later.
Yeah, that's probably to kind of give context because, like, if you watch the anime, there's a reason why they kind of correlate Drayden and Iris a lot. It's not just because of them both being dragon specialists. It's also
Oh no,
because,
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, in the games, it was correlated because they're kind of connected in a weird way.
Yeah.
I honestly, and just to throw this out, I kind of wish Sword and Shield handled its version exclusives like Black and White did, where the other character was still in the game. I still say one of the biggest missed
Drayden's in the
opportunities.
game. He talks and stuff with
No.
Iris and everything. He just doesn't
No, what
do
I'm saying
shit.
is I wish Sword and Shield had did that with
Oh
their.
yeah.
One of the most annoying things is I will still say one of the biggest missed opportunities of characters in Sword and Shield is Melanie and Gordy. Don't make characters related and have this history, and they're not even in, and they never even show up in each other's games. It's fucking stupid.
I mean, we still have the potential for it because of the Tundra stuff and the like.
Yeah, but the question is gonna be, why the fuck do I have to pay $30 to get something?
Yeah, yeah.
B and
You're
Alistair.
saying the fair game itself.
That was a trick?
Jesus Christ.
I feel like that's your catchphrase.
No, that crit actually did not do a lot of damage.
I know.
All of them are gonna be in it though. Like, I'm waiting on my boy Pierce.
To be
He's
fair,
in the DLC. I mean, you can find him on the
to be fair,
island.
No, for the anime.
Oh, yeah.
that's true. But to give context, the one thing I will give Pokemon GameFreak a lot of credit on, ever since like Sun and Moon, they really fucking nail their ghost and dark gym leaders now. I fucking love Nanu and Acerola and Marnie and Pierce. And Alistair actually low key too. Alistair, I feel like the girls love him more than I do, but yeah.
Remember when I lost to him 5 times?
I feel like
Alistair is hard considering where he's placed in the game. He's
Yeah.
placed in the 3rd gym, right? Or am I wrong?
Alistair.
I think he's like the.
Or is he the 4th?
Alistair is the 4th.
Milo,
Yeah,
Nessa,
it's
missing Kabu. That's what it was.
Yeah, Kabu's the 3rd.
Kabu's 3rd, so Alistair's 4th. Alistair's kind of hard as the 4th gym leader, especially because I think he's way more challenged than
It
B.
took me a while to realize the first 3 are literally the starter. I call the starter trio because water, grass, and grass, water, fire. Yeah, I didn't even think about it until like I was like, oh yeah, wait, it's them.
Actually, just to throw it out here, I know this might be random. Who is everyone's favorite gym leader from Black and White?
From Black and White?
Yeah.
That's
You
a
can't pick
good one.
Roxanne, you can't pick Marlin.
tried. I'm so basic. It's like
I think of the. I will say
I'm
I
not-
think Ironically enough, anime-wise, I think Clay's fight is one of the funnier ones, literally just because he gets so
Damn
mad.
it, I like Elsa in the game personality-wise, not battle-wise.
I like Clay's is just funny to me, bro. The anime was so.
I'm talking about in the games, I like her logic. I like that she's this fashion diva, but she still has the time to get into these deep moments with Bianca in the game.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I had to pick one out of the. I don't want to say Lenora because low key it's kind of Lenora.
What?
Yeah, it's probably Lenora.
Lenora's like low key, but if I'm trying to think, because Bryson I think is really cool too. I like the whole movie star.
And I know Chili and Pod, or Crest, I'm sorry. I know Chili and Crest get better in the next game. More specifically, those two. Silent more or less stays the same.
Favorite.
Well, yeah, because they switch actually.
Well, the
also
reason being is because I unlocked all the memory cutscenes, and one of them, Chili and Crest, are just trying to figure out why they get their asses kicked so many times in gyms to the point where they're no longer gym leaders. It's kind of sad.
I really gotta play this.
You like the introspection of it all. That's
yeah.
Ironically enough, I actually like Skylar way more in the games than in the anime because the anime did some dumb shit with her.
Oh yeah, the anime ruined Skylar.
Oh yeah,
she's a bitch in the anime.
I actually did watch that episode. I got frustrated.
I get why she is the way she is. The problem is it made that episode predictable. Like I remember reviewing it and being like, yeah, you did this because I knew Silent was gonna lose, so you could have Ash win in the next episode.
Yeah.
The problem is Silent has a better precedent of winning gym matches, so it doesn't make sense for him to lose against Skylar.
Yeah. I also don't like the whole "I decided the battle before it happened" situation. Like they did that plot line in School of Hard Knocks, and I'm just like,
yeah,
it was barely good in that.
Yeah, as a gym match, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
The battle itself is fine, but the fucking
funny about Skylar, that was actually gonna be my answer.
Really?
Oh well, hold on. Are you talking the video game or the anime?
In the game,
I like your video game better.
Yeah.
The video game, she's more chill and everything.
Yeah, and she plays a bigger role in the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
with that being said, I can see why TSS actually likes the sequel. Some of the gym leaders actually play better roles in their preceding games than the games.
All right, if we included the sequel, Roxy definitely is up there too.
Oh,
Yeah, Roxy's my favorite out of Gen 5.
Oh,
yeah.
I forgot about Roxy. She's
Rafael did say Roxy wasn't an option at first.
Yeah, because Roxy is black and white too.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Roxy and Marlon.
And their only version. Wait, yeah, they're version exclusive, right?
Marlon is an asshole, by the way, in the game.
He's not an asshole. They just make he's like he's only asshole. He's like an unintentional asshole in the sense that he's like super chill and
He's
everything.
so chill that to an irresponsible point.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. That's the problem. He's not
like, hey man, Team Plasma's not messing with me, so why should I care? I'm like, fuck you.
It's It's also the only gen that made you feel kind of bad for the villain team because of the premise of Black and White 2, which is that like some of the members are like reformed and they actually did genuinely believe in.
Because Hugh punches one of them. Poor bastard.
Hugh was on some fucking crazy shit.
I like what they did with him though. They made him a good person. He just had the wrong directions.
Ironically enough, that's the same argument. You can say the same thing about Chorus. Because Chorus isn't inherently evil.
Yeah, he's not evil. He's curious.
Yeah, he's curious, and the problem is his curiosity doesn't give a fuck about morale.
Yeah. The thirst for knowledge has led him down a messed up path.
Yeah. Actually, I think that's kind of the premise of Black and White too, for the most part.
Yeah.
That which is kind of why I think Marlon fits.
Literally, I would say, literature-wise, these games are great.
I feel like this is the generation that everyone is so loves it, and actually no, that's not true. The people who do love it really, really love it, and all the lore that surrounds it, and I feel so out of the loop.
Well, because I'll say this right now.
Oh, before you go, I'm gonna let you go, Tara. I just want to
go ahead. Yeah, go.
You have to understand when these games came out, it was not like that at all.
No, it was not.
Black and White were hated initially because they were so different. They were more story driven. Oh, they locked all the old Pokemon to post game. You couldn't use any. You had to use only.
Why is that a problem?
Because motherfuckers don't.
They complain about it 4 or 5 years later. Who
People
knew?
want new shit, but they couldn't stand that. That aspect pissed
Or
people
9
off.
years
a
ago.
lot.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
The problem is black and white. I keep switching between Best Wishes and Black and White. Sorry, Black and White is very different from the games that came prior, and that change rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. People used to harp on the dumbest shit. Like you've heard obviously the ice cream Pokemon jokes. They also used to hate on. They used to hate on things like rotation battles, even though it's barely used in the game. People didn't want to give them credit for the fact that they finally made HMs unlimited and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then and the subtle stuff like HMs are only HMs are barely using the game. Why are they even there? Which is something I agree with, but it didn't harm you. It didn't ruin.
Surf was a good HM.
It didn't ruin your experience. Actually, if anything, it made it easier.
Yeah.
People just didn't like Gen 5. Gen 5 is retroactively gotten better for a lot of people. But a lot of people at the time hated Gen 5. So
because at this point we've Gen 6 got scared of all the criticism and reverted back to the same formula.
Actually, Black and White 2 kind of starts
well,
that trick.
Black and White 2 was kind of stepping back, but Gen 6 is where we see them completely jump back.
Yeah.
Fatigue from Gen 4, like that it was very long and
See, here's my explanation. Here's my explanation of why Gen 5 is praised up to this point. Up till Gen 5, I'll say this right now, Pokemon's been okay, but its writing hasn't been that great. I want to say after Gen 3, I want to say midway through Gen 3 and then moving forward to Gen 4, they were kind of running low. Gen 5 is the first Pokemon game to actually stop and ask like the bigger questions and run deeper with their characters and make me actually care, because they're using the characters more as characters and not just set pieces for you to traverse through the region. You gotta beat the gym leaders in order to move forward. You gotta talk to these trainers because why not? You gotta have a rival that picks the Pokemon that's good against yours or weak against yours, depending on the game. Because of course, this is the first game that stops and takes the characters and goes, what if we put them in situations and then have that coincide with the journey? Case in point, at the end of this, you beat the game not by beating the champion and just calling it a day. You beat the game by beating your rival who became the champion, just like in Gen 1. The difference here is that it's a part of the story. Whereas in the other games, beating the villain, like Gen 1, we'll use that as an example, beating the main villain was like seen as an afterthought, and then once you're done with that, you just beat the game as normal. It kind of feels weird because it feels like you've gotten out of the storm and now it's the calm, but for some reason the calm is tougher than the storm itself was. Whereas here, you're fighting N, who's literally the plot of Team Plasma. So you're bringing Team Plasma's plot and mixing it with your initial goal to be the champion. So the two coincide with each other.
Yeah, I would say Gen 5. I think Gen 4 and Gen 5 started the stories taking more precedent, actually, because I would argue, because as much as you may have your issues with Gen 6 and Gen 7 or Gen 8, they all tried to elevate their plots in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Gen 6 suffers because it suffers from Gen 4 syndrome, which is that the fucking the main villain and the grunts have two completely different goals. The grunts for Team Galactic are like Team Rocket. But Cyrus is like a fucking sociopath, which ironically enough, I would say is the same issue for Team Flare and Lysander. So Lysander is more of like a depressed, suicidal maniac. It's a weird, and then the fact that Gen 6 starts this whole like two different timelines theory and shit, and it's like, if you flip timelines, you're a faller. And you know what? Some of that shit's cool. You know the reason why I hate it though? Because
they don't double down on it.
Double down on it. So it's like it's always like a background thing that's like a part of a post game. Like the looker stuff in Gen 4, 5, and 6 is really cool shit. but it always is like a post game or a side thing, and you're like, come on, bro. Like even like the weird shit in Sun and Moon with Annabelle, and you're like, is this gonna go somewhere?
And the thing is, like, this game, and what I like about it is, like, one of the biggest things I like about it is that this game actually goes out and asks the question. Yeah, granted, sometimes the answers are shitty, but they at least tried to answer questions.
Yep,
Is it okay for kids to be going out on a journey? Technically, no, but for the sake of the story, we need to move it along. Is it okay to battle with Pokemon? Is it okay to have them confined in Pokeballs? And the rebuttal is okay. Like, the rebuttal works. It's not the greatest answer, but it works. The gym leaders kind of back you up and say, hey, listen, Pokemon make the choice. If they want to leave, they can leave. And they fight alongside them, and they also prove the point that some Pokemon they need trainers in order to make them stronger and stuff like that. And I love the idea of the villain questioning you to the point where you start to question yourself.
Do we really call N a villain though?
No. Well, he's a villain in the sense that he's your antagonist for the story. I should rephrase that. Yeah, you're right. He is the antagonist of the story. He is not a villain. He is an antagonist.
Actually, Tyrone, you just brought one of the other things that people hated about this gen when it came out.
Right.
People hated the reveal at the end when you realize that Ghetsis was the one plotting all that shit. Ghetsis that Team Plasma really is more of just like a run-of-the-mill Team Rocket. They just used a different approach, which I feel like in a way is selling Team Plasma short. But I also feel like people hated Ghetsis for being more like a traditional villain until you realize that, yeah, Ghetsis is a fucking asshole, but Ghetsis also has a god complex and is fucking crazy. And some people don't understand that Ghetsis is like fucking crazy.
Well, they're actually
like he tries to kill you multiple times. Crazy.
There's also, and that also kind of follows. This is Pokemon Black and White to me is the most RPG Pokemon game, for the sense that it follows that same line that most Final Fantasy.
Here comes the animation.
That it follows the same.
We gotta show it off, guys. Come on.
Of course.
Beautiful.
It follows the same.
Lower the bread. All right, go ahead.
It follows the same logic that a lot of anime JRPGs follow, where the thing Final Fantasy X did this the best. Where the thing is, the thing that you're worshiping or the thing that you're following, the religion, the cult, or whatever, actually winds up being the thing that is the ironically the evil thing. Where in most JRPGs, it's like, oh, we go to this church because we have nothing left and we lost everything, so we pray to this guy. Turns out the people who have been worshiping this guy have been pulling the strings the whole goddamn time. And this game does that in a sense. Granted, Team Plasma unfortunately doesn't make enough of an impact in Unova to warrant it. But the fact that Ghetsis has that god complex of, oh, I'm right. I'm the one having people release their Pokemon. In reality, he's like, I want people to release their Pokemon. That way I'm the only one with Pokemon. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, and the fact that
too bad they knew them in the anime.
Well, yeah, and the what they do, what religious groups in JRPGs and most games, what they do is that they use Ducklet, yeah. Anyway, what they do is that they manipulate. They use other people's insecurities to their advantage. That's one of the reasons why people in the games go to follow these religions or worship these gods, is because they have nothing left to turn to, so they have fear. So they're using their fear and insecurities as a way to manipulate them. And Ghetsis uses N's insecurities about how people treat Pokemon to his advantage, because he's like, oh, he can communicate with Pokemon. He's the perfect candidate to become the champion, meaning once he's champion, the ball's in my court.
Yeah, because he controls the king.
Right, because he controls. Yeah, literally. That's literally how it's played out.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, we could have went like a huge fucking.
Well, it's relevant to.
It's black and white stuff, so.
Yeah, like I said, this is the reason why this is my favorite.
It's just
game.
one of the games.
Let me one shot this thing.
I really like the fact that the games do that they make a story out of that. And they dug so much lore into N, because they literally could have just made him a one-off, like, oh, he hates Pokemon battles, but he'll do it anyway. He's doing it to test something.
Ironically, the minute-to-minute gameplay against fighting like Team Plasma and N is a contradiction to the message they're already saying, which is kind of a hint in itself, going, yeah, these people aren't really what you think they are.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably one of the reasons why I enjoy Black and White 2, for being like, well, some of them were fucking dickheads, but
not
like,
all of them. Yeah.
Some of them genuinely believe in what Getsus was selling or what N was selling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, I'm stopping in these little spots because
I would say it's more it gets us.
At this point, Team Plasma got split. There was those who basically, I like to call them like one group, the N Team Plasma, the ones that were following mostly N philosophy, and the other group was Neo, which was following Getsus. They were loyal. They were like the Shadow Triad in them. They were the ones loyal to Getsus.
The Shadow Triad is also just a cool concept. It's like these fucking protective ninjas that are just like.
Oh, it's just humming.
Oh yeah, this theme.
Oh, Drift Deal thing.
I saw this in the TikTok.
Yeah, that's probably
This was one of those weird challenges they had.
Why does Black and White have so many songs that are memed? I don't get it.
You mean like the legendary battle
you don't
thing?
remember you've seen the whole like Gen 5 music hits difference.
Yeah, I've seen those videos. Definitely.
Yeah, the Gen 5 music is very different, and it fucking hits so well because of it. Oh look, we have our new fucking our next gym leader.
Switching gears to the anime for a second, I did not think that Clay telling them to get revival herbs in a weird separate island was going to wind up being this fucking kick-ass arc.
Yeah, the arc was good.
Yeah, they were like, get some revival herbs, and then now we got Pansage fighting Thunderous and shit, and I'm like, what's going on?
Also, that's why I don't like when people act like Best Wishes had like, oh, well, Getsus was bad, and I'm like, you realize Gen 5 is the first gen in a while to actually have Team Rocket as kind of the main villains for the majority of it, and no one ever talks about the arcs that were Team Rocket were the main villains.
Hey, wait a minute, I talk about the arcs.
No, I'm saying, but it's not brought up. It's always like, Getsus was handled poorly. By the way, you're talking about a villain who was like, Getsus is not a villain Getsus is the Frieza of Pokemon. In the sense that his only goal is for you to hate him. If you hate him, then he's already accomplished his goal.
I mean, I like Getsus.
I'm more annoyed of anything.
For the fact that he didn't just try to manipulate his group, Team Plasma, he tried to manipulate the people. Literally, the first cutscene he's in is at the start of the game.
Yeah.
Because he's speaking out to the people, trying to get them to release their Pokemon. So he's already out there spreading a message, trying to get people to release their minds so that he can be the one to stand atop. He's using other people's fears and thoughts and insecurities to his advantage. And he used N like crazy, to the point where N called him a father legitimately.
Yeah, it was on some. He was on some next level brainwashing. He didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Also, but I do want to quickly just address the anime stuff.
Shit.
Yeah, I was gonna. That's what I was gonna ask you. What are your thoughts on the episode? I never saw it.
Okay, so are you talking about episode N, you want me to talk about like because there's different
in general.
Okay, so here's my thing. Episode N is not a bad arc for the anime. It was a bad arc compared to the games. Part of the reason why is because they started doing Black and White 2 stuff during, like, they used Black and White 2 Getsus, but like Black and White 1 N, and like Black and White, and then they introduced Chorus because Chorus isn't
Black and White 2 Charon.
Yeah, Black and White 2 Charon. Then you got Marlon and Roxy. And like Ash didn't fight Drayden. He fought Roxy, and then we got to see Marlon through Kotetsu shit. Like, that's the. But I don't think the arc was. I don't think the arc was bad. I think the problem with it is that the game gave us a better arc. So if you'd already played the games, you were like, the arc is not good. But if you don't play the games, I still think you would enjoy the anime's version of it.
Here's what I would have wanted. I know they weren't going to do it because, advertisement. I wish if they had to bring Kotetsu, have him be weaker than he was when he was introduced and have him fight Roxy as one of his badges. Not the final badge, one of his badges. If they have to introduce Roxy, Ash should have fought Iris. I'm sorry. I think Drayden would have been like, look. I think Drayden should have been like, look, you got it. You got what it takes to be the gym leader.
What the fuck?
But prove it by fighting Ash. And then we would have had an Ash versus Iris fight.
I mean, I feel like that's to me that's more of a benefit to Iris than it is to Ash. I'll be real.
Yeah, that's true. He's right.
Also, the anime was created. Also, the anime was created before that thing happened, so we didn't know.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like hindsight, you know.
Yeah. So I understand, but I do want to quickly address the other reason why I brought up the villains in Best Wishes in general is because I did want to quickly mention, because it kind of goes into like the reason why I prefer Team Rocket in Best Wishes than I do in the early seasons of Best Wishes, not the entirety, because the Chlor Islands backpedaled like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
The reason why I prefer Team Rocket, and it comes down to this core concept. Team Rocket in the other regions always gets these episodes that are like, that kind of show off their personalities and their characters, and shows like, and to me what they always are in the other regions is potential. It's like, oh, this is what Jesse and James could be if we wouldn't keep them stuck into this like hole that is being Team Rocket members. Nah, we gotta have them, like, the only time they ever get out of their comfort zone is usually in kind of like what they did in Journeys. Where they did in Journeys, where they had them be off an off day. That's when they get better episodes. And what makes me mad about it is that that's the only time it happens. So the reason why I like Best Wishes' version of them is because at least Best Wishes had the decency to be like, well, if I can't get them decently in the other direction, let me see what they're like in the darkness route, where they are serious and competent.
But people didn't like that.
And I would say, I think the Team Rocket arcs in Best Wishes are pretty fucking good.
Actually, no, you're actually right with the arcs. As much as I was disappointed by the TP versus TR, like that one, the arc that got canceled, I actually did like the one that made up for it.
There's two of them technically. There's the
one where Giovanni's there and he like.
So you're talking about the Lander. You're talking about like the Lander is. I'm also dancing to the music.
Yeah, that one where he's gonna like destroy Unova. Me too.
Yeah.
Damn.
But fucking yeah, go ahead.
But I think my thing is, like, if you don't care much about Jesse and James's characters, like, I think that's why it might be okay. See, I'm not okay with it because it's like you have so much rich history with these characters, and then all of a sudden they go through this jarring change. Like, you don't even get to see what happens. Like, this all of a sudden this like weird transition, like where they're all of a sudden just they get all these gadgets. It's like in Advanced, they were complaining that they got pogo sticks, and Butch and Cassidy got like jetpacks, and then all of a sudden, fast forward, and now they're all of us like they just know how to use all this technology where they didn't know anything from a hole in the wall in the past.
I like the fact.
Go ahead.
I like the fact though that the Rockets from Best Wishes were so hated that not only the Japanese send in letters, which, you know, it's very rare for Japanese to complain, because when the Japanese complain, you know you fucked it up. Also, to have Shinichiro Miki and freaking Megumi Hayashibara complain too, because they were pretty much relegated to radio drama to get what they want.
Here's my thing, and just to quickly do it before the part's over. I hate the problem with them being goofy and comedy oriented 90% of the time is that shit for one, it's redundant.
Like 10 years old by the time.
The problem is that it's redundant. The other problem is they don't keep half of the progression going into new regions anyway. So literally you're either getting recycled jokes or variations on shit you've seen before. So I was like,
blame JCC for that, not for.
Well, I know, but the reality is still there, that it was like, holy shit, we're kind of just stuck in the same route.
Yeah, because here's the thing though. At least the joke stuff was actually really varied in the Japanese, because there actually was really some really good some really good liners, like in DP, and then also in like Xbox.
And Moon, I think, was also one of their best seasons.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. But no, I get what you mean, Turo. I mean, that's my whole problem of like, that's literally why I want to make that video. And it's like when you have a series like this that's like 20 something years old, it's like, I don't know. It's like they just don't know what to do with them. I think that's the problem. But they're so beloved by everybody. They're voice actors. People.
Don't get it twisted. I don't have a problem with them being goofy. My issue is that they don't progress at all.
Yeah.
Like the closest we got was Hoenn and Diamond and Pearl. That's the closest we got, and it was really only for Jesse. It didn't really mean as much for James. James would get his episodes, and that's about it. And I'm sitting, and I'm kind of like,
James had more backstory. Jesse had more development.
Yeah, and my problem is, but it wouldn't lead to anything. They used to always toy with this idea that like Jesse and the very deep of it all was actually like would actually work out as being a contest trainer. But we gotta keep him in Team Rocket because we need villains for the show. I have no problem with Jesse and James being in the show. You know what I would prefer them being? Just trainers. But they won't do it because that requires progression. And then they would have to come up for reasons for why they're in every episode or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, at least in Best Wishes, I got to see a version of them that was at least I didn't mind them showing up, and we still got comedy-oriented stuff in Best Wishes with them. Hell, the fucking Meowth arc we got for a good chunk of episodes when he got which actually was entertaining, and it kind of caught you off guard because you were like, well, they've been serious this whole arc, so it's surprising that you threw Meowth, have him have this little section.
All right, now it's time to go.
But with all that being said, I was gonna stop here. So yeah.
Next time we're freezing our nuts off. So stay tuned.
Yeah, we gotta go.
We're gonna record in December.
Yep.
No, we have to go in a freezer.
That means we spent over 40 minutes talking about this game.
Oh yeah.
No, we weren't talking about this game. We were talking about the things outside of
this
the game.
and the anime.
Yeah, we kind of flip between the two.
We never talk about the game.
But yeah, they're fucking.
Good job, guys.
What are we doing?
I actually want to. At some point, I need to rewatch the end arc because people keep acting like it was so bad. I
think I need to because
No, it was bad in my opinion. Only because the filler in there made no sense to be there.
You know what?
I want to watch it, but I need to watch everything else before.
I kind of wish they had at least given in Zora or something just to represent him as like he loves Pokemon, yet he wasn't around any of them.
And the ending hints the Zorua thing so much, and it never goes anywhere. By the way, that ending song is still great, though. I love that ending song.